Everything was fine with our system until the power grid was shut off by Discless here.
They caused an explosion. Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Welcome everyone to this new podcast that I'm doing. Don't know what to expect from it, just here for the time being, and just wanted to just sit and talk about random musings. Wasted with the Wise is always going to be on Friday, and the problem with Wasted is that we have so many panelists, and I love the format. I love the fact that everyone gets together on a Friday evening after a week's worth of stress and work and bullshit, and then we get together, we start drinking, we bullshit. And it's a fun thing. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen, and I like it that way. I used to love those shows where you don't know what the next thing is going to happen, and that is my purpose with Wasted with Wise. It's a more of a informal, a Friday evening, going out with your friends to a bar after work, grabbing a few beers, sitting back, shooting the shit and seeing where the fucking night takes you when it comes to conversations. I mean, you may want to start off with talking about anything but with your job, and you might end up talking about your wives or whatever. And that is the format for that show. And it's good, and it's getting traction slowly, but it is what it is. It's its own beast. And I don't want to really mess with that formula. I think I've sort of refined that to a point. Still a couple of things I'd like to do with that show, but oh well. This podcast is a more of an intimate musing, a little bit more on the serious side. I mean, I'm still going to say what the fuck I want to say, but irrespective if I get financed or not. But these are my random thoughts. We'll have, hopefully somebody might come in, a couple of people might come in from my panel. Not many, but it's just more of my personal thoughts and a more intimate and deeper discussion about games and, well, shit, whatever the fuck I want to talk about, really. So yeah, I mean, that's what it is. So this week, what I wanted to talk about with this podcast was some of the game that I am playing right now. And let me go ahead and share it. Hold on one second. Let me show you guys. Right now, I am playing Sly Cooper. And this game for me is my favorite game, one of my favorite platformers of all time. So I don't know if any of y'all know this, but like Sly, I'm a huge platformer guy. I've been a platformer guy since, I would say, since gaming. Even with the 2600, I mean, yeah, combat was fun and all the other games were fun, but my go-to, even for the 2600, was Pitfall. It's a platformer, so yeah, I sort of gravitated towards it. It didn't have much in the way of graphical prowess, and you got to a point where the screens kept looping over and over again, so you're like, okay, well, whatever the fuck. But yeah, but it really got into its own platforming. Platforms really got into their own, especially character platformers with the NES. And I was down day one with Mario, with Sonic, all of that stuff. And then when it transitioned from 2D to 3D in the N64 era, with you got your Crash, you got Spyro, you got, of course, your Marios and stuff like that, Banjo-Kazooie, Conquer Bad Fur Day, I was hooked. I was entrenched. And to this day, I will always have a soft spot for me when it comes to platformers. It really hit its apex in the PlayStation 2-ish era, if you want to say that. Mainly because of you had so many platformers firing on all cylinders. You had Jumping Jack Flash from Sucker Punch. You got the people who do now Ghost of Tsushima. You had, of course, the one on screen, Sly Cooper. You had Ratchet and Clank really started at this time with Insomniac. Not Insomniac, with Insomniac. Naughty Dog was getting into the game with Jak and Daxter. And of course, you still had your Marios and all that stuff. Sonic really didn't make the transition that well into 3D. But then again, not all platformers, in my opinion, need to be 3D. Some platformers work well in 2 dimensions and some platformers work well in 3 dimensions. Like, for example, I do not think a Ratchet and Clank or a Jak and Daxter would work well in a 2D format, whereas Mario can go between the two. And I think Sonic tends to be better as a 2D guy as opposed to a 3D guy. So that's just my thing. But anyhow, long story short, of all of the platformers that were out there, this was my favorite by and far. And to this day, this is PS2. It holds up. It had the cell shading, and cell shading really came into its own in the PlayStation 2 era, Xbox/PlayStation 2. You had phenomenal cell shading games like one that comes to mind apart from this one is 13, which was a first-person shooter cell shading one. Historically, a lot of your the Dragon Quest games, Dragon Quest 11 was also cell shaded, and still to this day, when cell shading is one of those things that I think that I don't know how hard it is to program. I'm not a programmer, so I have no earthly idea. But this type of graphic sort of withstands the test of time, in my opinion. I think this thing, whether you're playing on a PlayStation 2 or a PlayStation 5 or a PS5 Pro or an Xbox Series, I don't care, a Steam Deck, it will hold well. And it's a shame that they are not doing this anymore. Sucker Punch has famously moved on, sold the franchise to Sanzaru or something. Sanzaru was the last person who made a Sly game. And I don't know what happened. I think Sanzaru went and became a mobile platformer maker, mobile game maker or whatever. But yeah, I've always kept a small hope that somewhere in the ether of the universe, the stars may align and allow us to get another Sly Cooper game. Right now, I'm playing this game. They put it on PS Plus Extra, and this is a perfect game for a greater or lesser extent for your Portal. Sorry, drinking my coffee. But yeah, the Portal, this game sort of marries well with that device. It doesn't really require a lot in the way of compute power, and the PS5 is easily able to stream it with a decent internet, and you probably won't see any lag. I do see some lag when I play my Portal with this game, but it's not anything you can't look over. It's not the best situation. Yeah, the best situation would be to play it on the PlayStation 5 on a big screen TV. However, you know, it's serviceable on the Portal, and I absolutely love this game. It is one of my goats, and I will always, as long as there's air in my lungs, maybe even beyond that, I will always have a soft spot for this character, for this art style, and for this platform. I actually thought of the 3 major platformers of the PS2 era, whether it was Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, and Ratchet, and my ranking would have been, number 1 would have been the Sly Cooper series. Number 2 would be the original Jak and Daxter. The original Jak and Daxter was, to me, a little bit different than the other 2, Jak 2, Jak 3. That sort of went on a dark sort of trajectory. It was like trying to become a gritty platformer, even more gritty than Ratchet and Clank with a shooter. I don't know. I think somewhere along the line, Naughty Dog lost their way with 2 and 3. Jak 1 was phenomenal. I remember the E3 when it was first demonstrated. They had all these characters of the people in the game or whatever, and the houses and stuff. They did a very similar approach like Nintendo did for Zelda and Mario when they first announced Mario Odyssey, or when they announced Breath of the Wild, where they made the whole E3 floor that game. So the same thing with PlayStation when they had announced Jack and Daxter. They had made, I'm not saying they made the entire PlayStation floor, but a section of it. They converted it into Jack's home city world, whatever you want to call it. And I absolutely loved it. The colors are, so even Jack and Daxter to this day holds up extremely well. If you are a character platformer and you love these types of games, then Jack and Daxter definitely fits the bill. But in my opinion, all of the Sly sequence comes before the first Jack and Daxter. Then after Jack and Daxter will come the Ratchet and Clank sequence. And then after that, I would probably put all the other ones, Jack 2, Jack 3, and all that other jazz. So yeah, that's how I would rank it for just the PlayStation 2 platformers and stuff. Mario is a beast of its own. I mean, like, how do you even rank something like Mario 64? I mean, now it's probably not a big deal, but back in the day, you've got to understand, you were going to Toys R Us and you saw a N64 kiosk and you saw Mario in all of his resplendent glory in 3D, and you could do almost exactly what you were doing in Super Mario World or Super Mario 3, but in 3D. It was mind-blowing. It was earth-shattering for the teenage me. And I mean, now, of course, like now it's probably passe or whatever, but when you're talking about a game like Mario 64 that not only just is a great game, but redefines or even defines what 3D platforming is, you can't rank something like that. It's almost unfair for any of the other platformers to even to go up against that. But yeah, for the PlayStation ones, that's what I would say. I would say number one are is the Sly series. Number two would be the original Jack and Daxter. Then the rest of this, after that would come all the Ratchet and Clank series, and then finally Jack 2 and 3 and all of that. But yeah, so great game. If you've not played it, it's on PS Plus Extra. So if you are a member, that's an easy download. It won't take you that long. I mean, you're talking about maybe if you sort of like really stretch it out, it might be 15 hours, and that's being generous. But yeah, you could probably finish this like the way some of you guys play games, you could probably play this in one sitting. It's like 10 hours at most. But yeah, I remember the second world with the alligator lady. Let me see if I can pull that up. I wonder if they have that here. With what was that name of that lady with the alligator? Some Vivi LeBeau or something like that. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it here. It's this world right here. Yeah, you had to go in and you had to like save or something. And anyhow, the cool thing about this main boss was that she was like my first exposure to a rhythm game as well. Like, I mean, just look at it. Like, it's cool as fuck. I'm going to blow up the screen a little bit to show it to you guys. But yeah, I mean, you go through this whole thing and you finally get to her, and she starts throwing things at you that are like, I want to say like little prompts and stuff, and it was phenomenal. Okay, there we go. Hold on. There we go. Here we go. And the music rocked. Let me see if I can play this.
You'll get zapped!
A little voodoo Simon Says, huh? Sounds easy enough.
Enough of that crap. But yeah, that was the thing. So yeah, Snipes. Yeah, I'm just doing this impromptu podcast. This is a little bit of a different take than my Wasted with Wise. Wasted with Wise is like a whole bunch of people just getting around and talking shit and shooting shit and just causing all sorts of commotion. This is my own personal ramblings. I'm still gonna say what the fuck I want to say and how I want to say it, but and I will be joined by maybe a guest here too. But it's just one of those things that, like, as the host of Wasted with Wise, it's kind of hard to get my opinions expressed. I do want my panelists to first express their opinions. But yeah, I mean, somewhere along the line, I felt like I lost my own voice in that podcast as well. But that's cool. I mean, I still love Wasted with Wise, and I still love the motif of it. Like, you know, just a bunch of guys and gals just getting together, a bunch of friends getting together after work on a Friday evening and shooting the shit and just seeing where the conversation takes them. But this one is just like, I'm not going to say, have not sort of married myself to a steady cadence of release like I do with Wasted for this one yet. I don't know like how the fall looks, but I'm hoping to make this more of like my own personal vlog / you know, my personal musings, if anyone cares to think about or hear it, you know, not that anyone probably give a damn about what I think, but I'm hoping people do, you know, so let's see how that works out. Yeah. But yeah, going back, but thank you, Snipes, for showing up, man. I really appreciate it. So yeah, this was just, dude, this game, man, this was like phenomenal. I mean, you're probably looking at this shit and you're like, man, this man has lost his fucking mind. How this stuff is like old as fuck. You put yourself in that perspective back, like you see something like this. First of all, the graphics were like, for that era, it was like mind blowing. Like this looks like, to me, the younger me, this was a cartoon that I was playing. Like that was the dream, right? That was the dream back when you first saw games evolve, the graphics evolve from Super Mario 1 to Super Mario 2 to Zelda to, you know, whatever, to the Super Nintendo type games. And then the goal was to play a cartoon that you could play. And this was it, dude. This, like, for me, you gotta understand, this game was it. This was like, okay, shit, I'm good. If every game that from here on out I play looks like this game, then hell yeah, I'm down day one. And with the rhythm, I mean, like, rhythm games were not a thing back before this game. I'm not saying this game influenced, you know, any of those games, those, you know, Guitar Hero games or anything like that. I'm just saying that this is the first time I was exposed to that mechanic. And I absolutely love that mechanic. And especially in the light of what this game was. Like, you know, the first main boss was your typical main boss. This one was totally different, right? This one was platforming. Do you remember playing this game? I mean, Snipes, did you remember playing this game? And what was your thoughts on it? But yeah, I mean, this, like, I can't stop gushing over this game. I just can't. I mean, the story for all of the main bosses, the Furious Five, and then, dude, the main boss. The fucking main boss, man. Clockwork, dude. Like, you were like sitting here like, okay, there's a leader. You didn't know who it was. It was somebody in a shadow. It was like a bird, like, and then you saw that little bird thing, this owl thing was a whole part always along. Like every photo that you were in as Sly Cooper, there's that little bird or owl thing that you come to find out in the corner watching you. And that owl thing was the reason you're doing this whole quest. And then the whole battle with Clockwork, dude, I mean, they blew the lid off of this one. This one was great. It was like everything that you wanted. It was a platformer. It was cartoony. And like, look at this. Like the next level, look at the fucking level. Look how they introduced the level. I mean, you don't get that anymore. I mean, it was a buddy cop movie. You had Bentley, who was the nerd. You had Murray, who was like the driver / the muscle. And then you had Sly. Dude, like it was phenomenal. Like I mean, oh my God. Then you had to go through and you had to get safes, and your safes would unlock new abilities, and you can't like really progress until you unlocked all the safes in each level. I mean, it wasn't like, okay, the problem with some of the N64 platformers were they were collectathons. I mean, egregiously so. Donkey Kong 64 had like a shit ton of stuff that you had to collect. You had regular bananas, and then you had colored based on which monkey you choose, whether it was Diddy or Donkey or whoever. it was too much, you know. But this game just, it had your collections and it had one, and it was good enough. And you had one other collection, which was a little the little codes in a vase, and that would enable you to, if you collected all of them in that level, it would enable you to unlock that save for that level. I mean, look at this stuff. Like, where do we get this stuff anymore? Do we get this type of stuff anymore? This is what I want from a game. This is what I want. This is those types of games that freaking grab you on the first 5 minutes of the game, and it doesn't fucking let go. It doesn't let go. You know you have other things to do. At that time, I had like finals and stuff like that, tests to prepare for. No, they don't care. This game was like, okay, here, you want to play this? We got you. We got you by the fucking balls, and we're not letting you go, period. Whether you like it or not, you're going to play. You're going to be compelled to finish this fucking game. And this was before your trophy system. Nobody needed trophies to beat this game or something like that. Nobody was trying to eke out the platinum for this thing. It was, people did it because like it was compelling. Like you wanted to finish the game. You wanted to unlock all the code, all the safes so that you can get your new ability and stuff like that. There were no DLC skins, no DLC levels, no alternate skins, cosmetics that you would have to pay good money for. None of that shit. It was just a good, clean, concise, beginning, middle, and end, 10 to 15 hour experience. And that's it. And it ran impeccably. It compared to, in my opinion, compared to Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter, I think Sly Cooper controlled the best of all three of those mascot platformers. And yeah, that's my rant about Sly Cooper. But yeah, that's what I'm playing right now on my Portal. And I think that the Portal is perfect for this type of game. I mean, as I said, you know, there are still frame issues, like in the sense that depending on your internet, you may skip a few frames here and there, but it is not anything that's so egregious that it's not playable. So yeah. And speaking of platformers, that's why for this state of play, I was excited to see fucking Astrobot. Astrobot was like, yeah, I mean, most people are probably like, yeah, it's a kiddie platformer. Who cares about that shit? But dude, when I looked at Astrobot, I was getting Odyssey feels. I was getting Odyssey feels. I was getting all those old platformer feels. And it was just, yeah, I mean, I'm down for Astrobot day one. That's why I actually bought this little plushie too. So yeah. Again, I'm a huge platformer guy. So I guess, I mean, if you're not into platformers or if you're like into something a little bit more serious or whatever, I guess this is not your cup of tea or your bag, but yeah, it is mine. So, and yeah, that is what I'm playing. One of the games I'm playing currently right now. The other one I'm playing right now as well is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Ritual of the Night, which is a more like a Metroidvania. And I'm going to get to that in a second. Snipes, who kindly has shown up on the stream, said, my first mind-blowing memory was Twisted Metal. Up until that moment, all I knew was Mario on the NES. Had a sleepover at a buddy's house and stayed up all night. First time being exposed to violent video games. Yeah. Twisted Metal was good. Twisted Metal was excellent. And especially Twisted Metal, to me, Twisted Metal hit its apex when it went to Twisted Metal Black. I think Twisted Metal Black, in my opinion, was the pinnacle of the Twisted Metal series. I could watch the Twisted Metal intros over and over again and never get tired of them. I mean, they were great intros. Whoever came up with those intros did a phenomenal job. But yeah, I mean, Twisted Metal was good. I mean, if you liked car combat, again, wasn't a thing. There was Carmageddon back in the day. And I think there was another car, like, one of those car games as well, those car battle games, as you would want to call them. And see, that's the thing that I'm missing. I'm missing the innovation. The problem is all these publishers and developers are likely doing is they're looking at the back catalog of games and saying, okay, what can we bring up to the current gen with prettier visuals and monetize the shit out of it, you know? And that's the problem that I have. The problem is like if they made a Twisted Metal in today's demographics, you know what the fuck they're going to do. They're going to release this. First of all, you're probably only going to get like 15, at most 10, maybe 10 vehicles at start. Then they may make you want to, they'll probably make you buy other ones and other skins of the vehicles or something like that, or like Sweet Tooth's thing. And then there will be later on, 6 months later, DLC content, which they were actually developing from the beginning of the game, but they separated it into DLC because, hey, they have to fucking milk you for your money. And then, of course, they're going to release skins and stuff like that. What? Like, please, come on now. It can't be, the video game, the industry is making over $9 billion a year. It can't be so games can't be so prohibitively expensive that you're not making any fucking profit, that you have to sort of nickel and dime us players and play on our nostalgia for every fucking penny that has our name on it. And that's straight up bullshit. And this is what I'm missing from my games of yore. That these types of, you didn't have all that shit, and it was annoying, like fucking Twisted Metal. They're probably, most people so Twisted Metal, they would probably fucking make that into a live service as game. And anyone saying otherwise, they fucking would. They would make Twisted Metal into a Fortnite clone. It will be a fucking battle royale or some shit like that. I guarantee you that. And see, that's the problem that I have. I miss that. I feel like my childhood is being hoarded out to the highest bidder. And I hate that about it. I fucking hate that about gaming. That's why gaming these days, for the greater or lesser part, I feel disenchanted by it. Okay, whether you're Xbox, PlayStation, I play it all, right? I got them all, but it's the same fucking thing, and I'm tired of it. I'm really fucking tired of it. They can make good games, they just choose not to. They don't want to. They want to take their game, break it up into fucking pieces, and piecemeal it to you so they can capitalize it. That's like going to fucking McDonald's, buying the Big Mac. They give you the Big Mac with just 2 pieces of meat. If you want to upgrade to the visual cheese option, then you have to pay extra. If you want ketchup, you have to pay extra. This is bullshit, I get it. I get it from a financial perspective. I'm a stockholder and I'm an adult, right? And we are all adults. And we know these are corporations. They have no obligation towards us. Their main obligation is their fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders, et cetera, blah, 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 blah. We've spoken about this shit enough on all of these podcasts. But where's the fucking good games? Where are the games where the developer only really gave a rat's ass if you had fun with the motherfucker? Where they didn't care about, this game sold 40 million copies and we made X amount of No. Like, what about, you know what? We made this kick-ass game and we hope you fucking enjoy it. That's it. That would be it. Snipes, you said, Sony messed up so bad canceling the game Fortnite this season. It's crazy. It's all about cars. And, RPG88, welcome in. This podcast is just my random musings and my thoughts. I was telling Snipes this, Wasted is a great panel. A lot of people, we just have a great time. I will not trade Wasted for anything in the world. It is my baby, it's my child, and I will see it to the end. However, something gets lost in translation. So as the host, I don't get a chance to sort of take out what I got to say about it. So this is why this is here. Maybe I might have a couple of guests on if whoever wants to come in, but yeah, this is just my random ramblings about stuff. And so, yeah, so he says, Snipe says Sony's lazy, don't want to put the work in. RPG88, you said that console warriors more worried about where it lands instead of how it lands. And see, that's the fucking point. That we're all gamers. I don't care the fucking plastic dildo you choose to play your goddamn game on. I don't care whether it's a portable dildo or a set-top dildo. It's still a fucking dildo, okay? So it doesn't matter to me. Tell me about, did you have fucking fun playing this game? Not, oh, it sold 20 million, so it was a fucking flop, or oh, it sold 5 million and it was a success, or like I don't care. I don't fucking care. I want to know, did you have any fucking fun? Tell me that this thing, you put the game in, you fired it up, and in 5 minutes, that motherfucker grabbed you by the nads and wouldn't let go. That's the game that I want to play. And that's the game I'm not getting anymore. That's the game I want to play. Tell me that. Tell me how 18 hours into the game, you are still playing with your fucking character creator because you love that shit, because you've not decided on what goddamn hairstyle you want to use for your nads yet. You know, tell me that shit, you know? I mean, just give me the reason that compelled you. Don't play the game because it's the Xbox big thing or the PlayStation big thing, or because there's like 500 YouTubers streaming it on YouTube, or it is the it game that everyone is talking about, so you gotta be a part of it. No, did you have fucking fun with it? Is there anything in the game that's compelling you to fucking keep playing it, apart from the fact that you just want to be a part of the discussion? You know, it doesn't make sense. That is not the purpose of a game. The purpose of a game is not finances. It's not who sold more. It's not whether there is a platinum trophy or a whatever. It is not any of that. It is at the end of the fucking day, when you're sitting in front of a goddamn TV with a controller, are you having fun? Not, is your friend having fun? Is somebody watching you having fun? Are you having fun? Did it grab you, or can you put the controller down and walk the fuck away? You know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I want to know. And I want to know those games. I want those games. Dude, I'm 49 years old. Okay. I'm an adult. I'm a teacher. My job is very fucking stressful. And I don't have a lot of what one would call discretionary time. Okay. I teach at a high school and a college, and plus I do tutoring, plus I do a lot of other stuff for the SAT, ACT. I mean, anyhow, long story short, I don't have a lot of time. That being said, give me a game that from the introduction, from the intro, once you hit fucking start, you can't put that shit down. Give me that. Tell me, when was the last fucking game you played till 4 a.m, knowing your ass had to get up at 6 a.m. to go to fucking work, and you still did it? That's what I want to know. Because I would want to say right now, there is no game in my entire catalog, back or otherwise, that I've not yet played that has that same caliber. In my opinion, I can walk away from any one of my fucking games, whether that's Hellblade 2, whether that is God of War Ragnarok, whether that is what I don't have it. There is no game right now. You know, that's what I want to know. You know, I'm hoping that there will be light, no fire. For me, keyword hoping. So that's what I want to know. That's what I want to. I want to know if you can put the game down. Because if you can put the game down, then that's not a 9 game. I'm sorry to say, a game that is a 9 cannot be put down, okay? A game that is a 9, well, you can put it down, but very reluctantly would you put the fucking thing down, okay? You will be like, oh my fucking God, I got to go to work, but shit, give me one more goddamn hour with this motherfucker. That's the game I want to know, okay? That's the game I want to play. That not any of these games. And if those people rating a game as a 9.5 and a 9, no. I've looked at IGN's reviews, I've looked at the Metacritic reviews, all these games that they give 9s to, can't put it down. You can put it down. You can walk the fuck away. famously, so I always say this, Ragnarok. Now I'm going to get a shitload of tons of shit about this. Oh, he's just a bot. He doesn't like Sony. Fuck you. I love Sony. This is a goddamn Sony game right here, you know? But God of War Ragnarok, the last God of War was good. I could not put that down. 2018's God of War was a 9 or higher game for me because, again, it was one of those games. Maybe it was the fact that I had not played as Kratos for a very long time and the way they introduced it, and then with his Atreus and the whole quest of it all, it was just something about 2018. You couldn't put that motherfucker down, you know? And Ragnarok was not that game for me. Ragnarok was more 2018, which is not in and of itself a bad thing, but it's more of the same. And I mean, I'm grateful for them making it. Yes, I am, but I could easily walk away. There were a lot of points in Ragnarok where there was a huge fucking lull. Okay. Don't tell me that. I know you may like Ragnarok. You may be your fan. You might be a fan of Sony or whatever, but if you're honest to yourself, there were plenty of opportunities in Ragnarok, plenty of parts where it slowed down to a point where you're like, yeah, I'm hitting a lull. I'll take a stop. You know, what you call it did not have that. 18 did not have that. You had to keep going. You had to keep going. You had it. It compelled you to keep wanting to find out what's next. You know, I mean, look at this. Snipe says Sea of Thieves. The game is something special for me and lose a lot of sleep over. You know, it's interesting that you bring up Sea of Thieves, Snipe, because I was never a Sea of Thieves fan, and to this day, I can still walk away from it. But fucking cold ass coffee is still coffee though. But Sea of Thieves, when I played it with my little boy, I can see where the draw is for that game. That game, why it's number one in the UK and US charts, even on PlayStation, it sort of makes sense to me. Like, it's not, I don't know. As a gamer, I think that yes, hyper realistic graphics have their place, but there's just something about highly stylized graphics that I just like. if I wanted to see real world, I'll go walk out my fucking door. All right. That's hyper realistic to me. Okay. And yeah, there are games that need that look, but not every game needs a hyper realistic look. And, I like Sea of Thieves for that. It's that blocky, cell shaded nature. Watch. I guarantee you, people shit on the fact that that Rare keeps making updates to Sea of Thieves, and that's a discussion for later on, maybe. But I guarantee you, even 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the graphics that Sea of Thieves will still hold up in that generation of consoles, whatever generation we're playing at that time. Just like if you look at this game, PS2 now. This is not the PS5 enhanced. This is just a PS2 one. Okay. It holds up because I think cell shaded has that characteristic about them. And yeah, so I can Sea of Thieves, to me, I can understand. I've not really had an opportunity to get into it as much as I'd like to, because me and my little one were playing it together, and then I was getting addicted to it. However, there was something that happened with my work, and then I wasn't able to play with him for about a month and a half on end. I just couldn't play any games at that time because it was just really slammed. And then that sort of broke concentration, if you will, you know? So I think I'm going to get back to that maybe later on this summer if he's still playing it. My little one, he, you know, of course he's a kid. Of course, you know, they say when you're a kid, that's the best time of your life. And, you know, rightfully so. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's, I've just not had a chance. He goes from game to game to game. I don't know what he's on right now, Valorant or something. I don't know. Maybe 13-year-old. He's probably playing Fortnite again. But yeah, if he's still playing it, I'm definitely going to get into it. Yeah, so let me see here. RPG88, you said that The Last of Us, I couldn't stop thinking about it till I rolled the credits. Yeah, Last of Us was another one. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people complain about The Last of Us regarding, you know, you're just basically walking this place and then going into some water and then building a land bridge for Ellie to cross it, and then you cross it. But Yeah, but they missed the point. There was something about The Last of Us, that story about The Last of Us, and that's another one. Last of Us needs to be hyper realistic because it would not hold well hyper stylized. So Last of Us, I can totally understand. Uncharted is another one. I can understand why you're making that, hyper realistic, because it sort of will lose something if you don't. But yeah, Last of Us was another one of those games that, again, grabbed me from the first minute and wouldn't let go. I mean, it was a short romp. I think it was like at most 15 hours, but it was probably one of the better 15 hours I've ever spent. Yeah, so Uncharted 2 is the best Uncharted. Uncharted 1 was interesting. I played Uncharted 1. I actually played Uncharted 2 and loved it and couldn't put it down. And then I went back to Uncharted 1 and yeah, there was just something off. And there's something about Uncharted 2 that sort of married everything perfectly. And I can't put my finger on it. Uncharted 1 didn't have it. Uncharted 3 didn't have it. Yeah, there's just something about Uncharted 2. Maybe it was just like new at that time to see such a big, like Indiana Jones-ish epic story, the way it was sort of planned out and everything. But yeah, Uncharted was one of the other ones that I can remember that I couldn't put down. Uncharted 2, I'm sorry. Uncharted 1, I could easily walk away from. It took me a while to finish Uncharted 1, just never interested in sort of like seeing through to the end or something. Hit me up. I'm a Sega legend. I could take on some amazing adventures, get my son into. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, games, like now it's become a business. And the funny thing is the business of gaming has sort of like leaked into the players of gaming, in the sense that like now it's not good enough for the game to be fun. It's got to be, it's got to hit a certain number of sales. It's got to make some sort of platform have bragging rights. And that is not the purpose of a fucking game, dude. I'm like, did you have fun? Did you have fun? Are you up at night thinking about it? Are you in the shower in the morning getting ready to work, but thinking about what you're going to do or what you're going to tackle the next night when you hit that game again, or other paths? Skyrim was another one that I couldn't put down. I mean, I was constantly thinking about Skyrim. I was like literally married to fucking Skyrim for like a better part of 2 weeks or 3 weeks that it took me to finish that game. Like that's all I ate, slept, dreamt, everything was Skyrim, just other things I could try and stuff like that. Yeah, that was one of those ones. Halo, famously so, could not put down Halo or Halo 2. Halo 3, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was good. I'm not saying it's 3 and Reach were good, but there was just something about 1 and 2 that I couldn't put it down. The level, what was that? The fucking level in Halo. The one, was it 404 Guilty Spark? What was the one where you went in and you first met the little robot? It was a famous level. I forgot the name of it. But Halo was one of those games. Like, dude, when you crash landed on that Halo ring and you came out and you saw that open sprawling world and you could go anywhere the fuck you want to go, and you were quite literally smack dab in the middle of a battle. Smack fucking dab. There were like things running around here, the little grunts moving around, the elites going around. You felt like you were in this smack dab in the middle of chaos. And that was the first game to give me that type of feeling, I remember. Halo 2 did well with that too, but yeah, Halo was, and to this day, I think that's one of the biggest problems of the Halo franchise. They were never able to create that feeling of just, dude, I don't know where the fuck I am. I just know that all shit is going haywire all around me, and I'm smack dab in the fucking middle of it, and I got to figure out how to survive this shit. That feeling. And then you felt like, dude, as Master Chief with all the stuff that you felt like Aragon, when he first came off of that ship in Return of the Kings, and he had all those little ghost warriors behind. You felt like fucking invincible with with Master Chief. You felt like you're going to break some shit. You know, you're going to, what they say, what's the old saying go? Like, kick ass and take names. There you go. That's what you felt you were doing with Master Chief. And you don't get that anymore. Doom Eternal made me feel like that. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Games need you as a player to have an emotional gut feeling, an internal feeling. There has to be something about the game that resonates with you in your heart, in your brain. It's just something about it. Like, you know, this game was the game. This game also had that for me, that feeling of exploration. You're playing a cartoon, and it was just you want to be taken away. I'm a fucking math teacher, okay? I'm a fucking math teacher, right? I am not going to save no planet. I'm not going to save the fucking city. Fuck, I'm not even going to save my house. I'm not even the goddamn neighborhood, you know? But you want to be whisked away. You want to feel like overpowered. You want to feel like your shit don't stink, you know? That's how a game should make you feel. You should walk away from that game with a fucking boner to be able to fuck Mother Liberty, fuck the Statue of Liberty and rip her a new one. That type of fucking, you know? Give me that. You know, give me that feeling. Give me that adrenaline rush. Give me that. I don't have any of that, okay? Nothing. Not a single fucking game in this generation. And that brings up the next point, okay? So the Xbox Showcase here thing, right? And I'm going to be playing this. Hold on one second. Let me switch the stream a little bit. Let me hold on. Let me share that. Let me see here. There we go. All right. So yeah, that brings up the next question with the Xbox Showcase. All right. So what I'm going to say, obviously, is my opinion. You can agree with it. You can disagree with it. Whatever. I have a lot of friends on YouTube, and a lot of my friends are individuals that have a staunch, I would say, bent in one genre or one platform or another. And I am not here to take that away from anybody. And I'm not here to upset anybody. However, I will say my piece on this whole Xbox Showcase thing. Let me go ahead and first say, I think that in order to have the way games of the type that I was just alluding to earlier, you need stiff fucking competition. You need stiff fucking competition. So I don't want Nintendo to go third party. I don't want Nintendo to bow out of the race. I don't want Xbox to bow out of the race or go strict third party. And I don't want PlayStation, obviously, to go, strict third party or out of the race, because I think that we have sort of built a pillar of gaming on these three major publishers, and all three have a purpose in the gaming spectrum. I know PlayStation fans will say, no, Xbox don't have any spot. Xbox fans will say PlayStation doesn't have a spot. Nintendo will say neither of them have a spot because Nintendo's OG. They all bring something very valuable and credible to the market. That being said, that doesn't mean they're all perfectly done. I mean, they're all absolved from any defects. And here is my thinking. Was this Xbox Showcase good? Yes. I would even venture to give it a 9 out of 10 or a 90 percentile. At first, my rating was 7.5 or 8, but after sort of mulling it over and looking at some of these games, there were plenty of games I got to play day one. So the way I look at Xbox is this. I look at it and say, okay, if this wasn't on Game Pass, would it be something I would be willing to pay $70 for? Now, you could say the game's not $70, it could be $60, but let's just say the current state of gaming right now, the go-to price is defaulted to $70 as opposed to defaulted to $60 as it used to be. So would I shell out $60 or $70 for this game? And there were plenty of games on this showcase that the answer is a resounding yes. The first of which is obviously the Doom game. Doom was like, when I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? That was like phenomenal, you know? So yeah. What is this X Defiant doing here? Hold on. Why am I, hold on. Somebody, okay, there we go. So yeah, there we go. So when I saw Doom, like when I saw this game right here, this one was yes. Yes. I definitely got to buy. I don't care if this game is $100. I'm going to buy it. What? Look, you got a fucking chainsaw blade, you know, you got a spiral saw as a shield. Okay. Let's call it what the fuck it is. This is a fucking spiral saw as a shield. Who ain't gonna do? You are macerating skulls and making them into goddamn bullets. Dude, come on. Come on. You can, I don't care if this is not your cup of tea. I don't care who you are. This is fucking phenomenal. Okay. This shit is fucking phenomenal. Then you can ride a goddamn dragon. You know that feeling that I was talking to you about? That fucking feeling. That feeling that, oh my God, I am that, you know, I'm fucking Leonidas in this bitch, you know, like this is Sparta. Boom. That fucking feeling. Yeah, this game gave me that, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's supposed to be, you don't understand, guys. Gaming is supposed to be a internal, not just a cerebral experience, but it's supposed to be like an internal gut feeling. It's a gut feeling. If it doesn't resonate in your gut, then it ain't worth it. It's a 7 at best. It's a 7 at best. That's the way you tell what are your 8 and 9 games. Does it resonate in your gut, not in your goddamn brain? Okay. Does it, it's a good game, but then I have to give it an 8 because it's a PlayStation game or it's an Xbox game. So I got to give it an 8, or it's a Nintendo game. Oh yeah. Fuck that. Fuck that. If it ain't a gut feeling game, then it ain't a 9. It definitely ain't even an 8. Okay. I love Nintendo. Princess Peach Showtime was given a fucking 8. That game is not a damn 8. I don't care how big of a Nintendo ass fan you are, and don't sit here and tell me otherwise. Okay. That you still watch Princess Peach Showtime, and I walk away saying, yeah, I can do without this shit. You know, I can do without this shit. Not my cup of tea. Now, if it resonates in your gut, then yes, for you, that game is an 8 or higher. But I have not met one person who said, oh my God, Princess Peach Showtime resonated in my gut. No. Breath of the Wild. A lot of my panel members hate it. I know 108 Dragons absolutely detests that game, not detests it, but doesn't think it deserves the accolades that it does. That it had a visceral reaction for me. Okay. It had a visceral reaction for me. When I saw him go in front of that great plateau and he saw that scenic escaping or whatever, it gave me Legend of Zelda vibes. As an OG NES player who paid $70 fucking back in 85, I paid $70 for Zelda back in 85. You do the math. That's like $125 in today's thing. And all I got was a booklet and a gold cartridge. Okay. That, when I put it in though, Legend of Zelda gave me that gut feeling. You were like, okay, this was the first fucking game. You just opened up, it faded away from black, and there were you, this little green character, a little elf looking thing, and there was a little cave up there. You go into the cave, there's just like weird old man with a sword. He took it, okay? That gut feeling where you can go anywhere, that freedom feeling, I got it from the original Legend of Zelda. And then when I put in Breath of the Wild and I saw that big old open expanse and it basically said, go where the fuck you want to go, I got that feeling. And for me, Zelda is a 90. The Breath of the Wild is 90. Now, let me say this. Breath of the Wild was 90. Tears of the Kingdom, I walked the fuck away from that game. I could not play it. Like, I watched, every time I watched anybody playing that game, all they did was make a fucking robot with a big ass dildo that shot fire. That's all they, I mean, that's cool, but yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in playing Zelda where, you know, I attach a fucking flaming dildo to Link so I can go and wreck some shit. That is not my way of playing Zelda. Okay. So yeah. But anyhow, so that being said, Doom was one of those games. Doom was the first game that gave me that gut instinct, gut feeling. So yeah, day one. Then the other game that I really was pumped about in the showcase was, let me see here, not State of Decay, not Shattered Space. You know, Fable, I am a huge Fable fan, but I just don't know enough about it to make a judgment either way. I would have to see it. I guess the next one for me that was, I'm not going to say this gave me a gut feeling, but this is another game that I'm like, you know what? This is the type of game that is called, what was that game called? South of Midnight. This is the type of game that I can see giving me that type of reaction. Okay. My time is valuable. Not that anyone else's time isn't, but when I look at a game, I'm like, okay, is this going to grab me when I first press start? And am I going to be able to put it down, or am I going to be able to, is it going to grab me to a certain extent that I'm not going to be able to live with myself until I finish it? And this seems like one of those games. I like these types of open world, character-driven games. I love the art style aesthetic, the whole James and the Giant Peach type look. Now I know Nova has been saying that like when it cuts to gameplay, it becomes like super fast. Again, I don't know. Does it look like one of the games that is right up my alley that might give me a visceral experience? Yes. But again, I won't know until I sort of get my hands dirty with the game. But it at least piqued my interest as a gamer. The next one that I would say, no, not Metal Gear Delta either. I mean, Metal Gear Delta is fine, but whatever. The next game that really did it for me was actually, to be honest with you, Perfect Dark. It ran very well. And now some people say, well, it doesn't look like Perfect Dark. Well, I don't know. I don't remember the N64 Perfect Dark, but I guess you're right on that regard. It wasn't that way, but it looks like some cool shit. It looks like whatever they're showing me, okay? I'm not married to Joanna Dark. I don't know anything about fucking Joanna Dark, okay? I don't care about Joanna Dark, but I do care about this fucking game. This looks good. This looks something like this. Again, is it one of those games that's going to grab me? I don't know, but it sure as hell looks like it, but it looks fucking phenomenal. Like, it looks like you're looking for, from what they showed in this clip, you're looking for a guy who they have a voice recording of. So you got to go around and start looking at the voice recordings and seeing which one is yours. And it just gives me a lot of that Mirror's Edge mixed with a Mirror's Edge mixed with a little bit of Splinter Cell. And yeah, I mean, I loved Mirror's Edge 1, not 2, but I think this is going to be cool. There's this one scene in this thing, and I think it's coming up in a few seconds. I know you super laughed at me when I brought this up, but you know, the lady, she shot this guy with a taser, and then she jumped down and did a coup de grace on him. That was cool as fuck. I like that. So if they can do that, I'm down day one. It looks good. I mean, it reminds me a lot of, like, say if Nintendo if they made, like, okay, this gives me Metroid vibes as well. Like, Metroid is also, the Metroid Prime series is also a little bit of a shooter / platformer. Not stealth, obviously, but this looks like it brings stealth as opposed to what Metroid does, which is more of a shooter type thing. Yeah, that scene right there, that scene was fucking cool, okay? That was another one that I'm looking forward to. then there's a couple of the other games that I'm looking forward to that did not show well on the showcase. Now, everyone's going to say, well, what about Emergence Day? What about Emergence Day? I can't say about Emergence Day. I loved Gears 1 and 2 and 3. However, I don't know. I got a cinematic. Is it going to be good? I fucking hope so. You know, I mean, it's a goddamn coalition. If they don't know what they're doing by now, then fuck. I mean, they need to find another job. But, you know, from what I think is going to be good, yeah, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. But I can't make a decision either way if all you're showing me is something that is like cinematics, you know, whatever. So I'm just going to have to reserve judgment for that. The games that I was talking about that didn't show well. The first one was this motherfucker. This game blows my fucking mind as to why they showed this bitch in the form that they did. I mean, it blows my damn mind. Okay, like it just sometimes tells me that sometimes I feel Microsoft doesn't know what the fuck they're doing sometimes in marketing a game. Like really, like what the fuck are you like? Do you even know what this game is supposed to, who the audience is for this game? And the game that I'm alluding to right now is Dragon Age Veilguard. I think it was called Dragon Age Dreadwolf for the time being before. And I am a huge old school BioWare fan. The Mass Effect series was phenomenal. It was one of those were some of the games that also wouldn't let me go. Mass Effect 1 and 2, fuck, that shit grabbed you by the nads and wouldn't budge it. It had your nads in a vice fucking grip, dude. That shit wouldn't let go no matter what. It was phenomenally good. Yeah, so I missed the BioWare of old, but yeah, I am sort of like trepidatious about all of this because, you know, it is, after all, EA, and EA does what EA does, right? So at first, when I saw this trailer, I was very, very disappointed. I'm trying to find that fucking trailer. I can't even find it anymore. Shit. You know what? I should have made a better bookmark, but anyhow, I got a better idea. Let me do this. Hold on. So yeah, the trailer that they showed on the where'd it go? The trailer that they showed on the Xbox showcase. It was just a fucking, it looked like they were trying to market a hero shooter. Like, I was looking at that shit, I'm like, Dragon Age is a hero shooter now. And then I actually saw the deep dive in the gameplay. Dude, okay, if you are a Dragon Age fan, a Mass Effect fan, a BioWare fan, a Western RPG fan, this game should be on your fucking radar. This game looks phenomenal. Now, I'm saying all this knowing that this is being developed by EA, and EA does what EA does. But when I was listening to them and I was looking at what they were showing me when it came to gameplay, this is how I would envision a next-gen Dragon Age game to look like and play like. And yeah. And Snipe says, gotta bounce, I'm up here in Canada. It is NHL playoffs, finals, and the game is about to start. Yeah, I know. What's his name was telling me about it as well. Noof was like saying something about that as well. So yeah, I understand that, man. I got to leave in a few minutes as well. I got to go for Father's Day dinner in a few. I just wanted to get in and just get my piece out, you know, basically. Snipes, thank you for showing up, you know. Thank you for making this a little bit better experience than I thought it would be. DE, my man, thank you for showing up, boss. He says Zelda needs 60 FPS and settings to stop weapons from breaking and making food obsolete. I do not want time buffs in Zelda. They won't do it. No, what Zelda is lacking, okay, is this. Zelda, back in the day, the fun thing about Zelda was to figure out the order in which, like, you're supposed to sort of do shit, right? Like, you had, like, for example, the first Legend of Zelda, I would bypass the first dungeon and I'd go straight. I would go and bomb the walls, get 5 heart containers, get the white sword, and go straight into the second dungeon and come back in the first dungeon and one-shot the fucking main boss in the first dungeon. So, yeah, I mean, the first dungeon, they gave you... Oh, fuck, I forgot what was in the first dungeon. Shit. Second dungeon had the boomerang. The first dungeon, I want to say it had the bow. I want to say that. But the dungeons were linear, not linear, but pseudo-linear. And you found a piece inside, you find keys inside. Your items sort of made the world more traversable for you. And there were out of the way places that you couldn't get to without the items found in those dungeons. So, could you get there? Yeah, able to get there as easily as say if you would have a certain item, right? So I think that is what they need. I think they need to make the open world open, but once somebody goes into the actual dungeons, if you will, they need to be 8 or 9 good, really deep dungeons that are more linear in nature. Yeah. It's nice. Says, keep up the good work, Wade. So you have something great there. I listen to a lot of shows. Yours is my favorite. Keep up the grind. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. Yay. Let's see. So that's what I think they need. I think that they've made it open world to a point to a fault. And yeah, so. But guys, anyways, this game should be in your repertoire to play. Guys, I need to end this stream really quickly. Unfortunately, I have got to go. I will be picking up from here. I'll try to stream a little bit more tomorrow and get my piece about what I felt was lacking in the Xbox Showcase. But yeah, thank you for everyone who showed up, RPG88DE, all of you guys. This is a podcast. I'm going to try to make it more regular. It's going to be more intimate, but yeah. So I will post up when I'm going to be doing this tomorrow. I don't know when I'll do it because it is Father's Day, but I will try to do a couple of hours. So everyone take care. That was just my thoughts about what gaming needs to be. And I hope to see everyone in maybe tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, definitely by Friday. Have a good one, everyone.